Welcome back.
Oh,
And there it is. And it doesn't matter. And welcome back to the final NFL episode for year 2020. I know we're in 2021, but for season 2020. What a season it's been. I would say what a Super Bowl, but that thing was a stinker.
It was enjoyable from a perspective of there's a lot of really good football being played. It was just on one side.
Just one team playing good football in that game. Mahomes looked lost. Is it just me or did Andy Reid make no adjustments in this game? He just said like, oh no, we're just going to keep, doing what we do and not having it work.
Well, I think we talked about it last time that they really have maybe 2.5 weapons there. And you talked about last time how the offensive tackles were out so that like the line wasn't going to be as good as it could be or should be.
I think that such a massive, and I underestimated it. Such a massive difference.
Mm-hmm.
That pressure was coming from outside all night long.
Yeah, and you've got Jason Pierre-Paul that was, getting to the quarterback a lot, getting to Mahomes. You have Sue there, who is just like probably chomping at the bit to get a Super Bowl ring. So it was just a lot of like almost like The Replacements, like the movie with Keanu Reeves. It was just like a lot of players that have been journeymen and that have been kind of like cast to the side that seemed to really step up when it was time to step up.
JPP in his blown up hand. Kind of crazy. It was interesting to see. I didn't see it. Obviously, we took the bet. I definitely owe you congrats, by the way. Case of all the blue stuff you can drink coming your direction.
Thank you, sir.
You give me that address. I'll Amazon it on out. Congrats again. You called it though. You said, hey, Tom Brady, this Bucs team, and the Bucs defense. I think that was where I overestimated was the Bucs defense being that good, right? Because they had some games where they were good this year, but like even in the second half against Rodgers and the Packers, you know what I mean? Like they capitulated a little bit. They capitulated a couple times against the Saints. And so I thought, you know what? Like they're good, but like they can, this is a really good offense. And let me tell you the other thing that got me is at the beginning of the second half, right? It was 21-6. 2 touchdown spread. That's not insane, right? Let's be real about that. That's not insane. And they came out and started running the ball with Hilaire, and like it worked. He was getting some runs in. He was getting like 8-10 yard chunks. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, cool. That's enough of that. Let's go back to Mahomes just flipping the ball all over the field. Why not make them show you like they can stop the run?
Yeah, I thought that was a mistake. I thought it could be even it didn't have to be as close as it was too. I felt like that Fournette would have been a better choice to run into the goal line. I think it was like maybe early second quarter that happened. And then the Patriots could have punched it in as opposed to turning it over on downs on like the half-yard line, right? But so it wasn't as close.
Well, Fournette, did he get it on fourth down? Was that no? He did. Fournette got it on fourth down at the 1, and somehow didn't get in.
Oh, I thought that was Jones.
Maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was Fournette. It doesn't matter at this point. You could be right, but either way, no. I agree. I mean, you're right. It didn't have to be. It's kind of crazy because that game was absolutely dominated by the Bucs. It wasn't really as close as 31-9, which is kind of crazy to say because they just ran out the clock the whole fourth quarter. They weren't attempting to move the football. It was just run the clock down and let's get out of here with the W. And kudos to them.
Yeah, I mean, no one could have predicted that the Chiefs wouldn't even gotten at least one touchdown. in the Super Bowl.
A lot of questionable play calls for sure. I'll say that out of the gate. A lot of questionable play calls for sure. And I think the one thing I will say is this is what you get when you are 100% reliant on your quarterback being Patrick Mahomes all the time. Because if he has one little off day, one little game where he can't kind of escape the rush and be creative like he normally is, then it doesn't happen. And it's insane because there was a throw late in the game. They were still in it, right? Throw late in the game where he hit a guy in the face mask while being tackled. He threw a rope perfect spiral and hit his running back in the face mask in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy just dropped it. And I look at that and think, like, there's no other quarterback in the league that could do that. Nobody else could have even been attempting the throws that he was attempting with any of that accuracy that he was putting on there. It's kind of insane when you think about that guy's skill.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it looks like he's actually going in for surgery.
Yeah, has a turf toe too.
Yeah, so like he didn't look like himself, to be honest. And then he was getting hit a lot. So
He was getting hit a lot.
a
The
lot
other
of
thing
people, yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people really, even though he lost, he gained a lot of respect from a lot of folks that I've been talking to over the past day and a half.
I think a lot of fans feel that way. It's kind of amazing to me. The talking heads on ESPN, Stephen A. Smith being one of them. Yeah, this, you got to remember, Mahomes got blown out. This is going to go on his legacy. This is on his resume now. Hold on now. Whoa, 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 whoa. If anybody watched that game and said Mahomes cost the Chiefs the game, idiot. Full on idiot. Take his card away. He's not allowed to be on the air anymore. He's an idiot. Right? I expect that type of stuff from Skip. There's a reason he's no longer on the network anymore. But like Stephen A. Smith, you're a putz. Like, how dare you even say that? It's on the resume now. No. The man was getting beaten all game long. They couldn't protect him. He was the only reason the Chiefs were even remotely in that game for 2.5 quarters was because of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it could be argued that he willed them to beat the Bills this year. With obviously like there's the team doesn't have that many pieces to it. Like it's still like on offense they've got 2 or 3 exceptional pieces, but then the rest are just they need to kind of get filled in a little bit.
I'll tell you what, they're in trouble too. Salary cap shrinking, and they have salary cap issues, and they've got guys to resign. So this is going to be interesting. Somebody that's a big, like, somebody's going to get the big wave this year. Somebody that you don't expect is going to get waived from the Chiefs. We'll see what happens with that. That could be really, really interesting.
There's a lot of Bucs players too that if they stay, they're gonna have to stay for a discount. Just to ride the Tom Brady train.
Well, yeah, you look at Chris Godwin. He's a free agent, and I have to feel like Antonio Brown is more likely to stay on a discount than Chris Godwin. Right, this is his first contract opportunity. So unless they tag him, and I don't know, again, with the constricted salary cap, that you're going to tag a guy like that when you've got Mike Evans out there, and you can re-sign Brown in all likelihood on a cheaper contract, keep Gronk around maybe for another year. Like, I think that's a spot where maybe he goes. And as a Colts fan, we've got plenty of cap space, so I'm all about Chris Godwin coming over. Just Jim Irsay, write him a check. Chris Ballard, let's talk about it. The other thing is, I'll also go back and say, and we haven't touched on this. It's been a couple weeks since we had the show. And I didn't. My bad on show prep. I didn't alert you to this. Thoughts on the Matt Stafford, Jared Goff trade?
I feel like that. So first of all, I think the Rams put themselves into a really bad situation, obviously, with that contract, the length that it was and the amount that it is. I feel like they gave up a lot. A lot.
That was my feeling. I've said a couple times on the show, and to anybody who would listen, really, I was like, Colts, go get Stafford, go get Stafford, go get Stafford. When that trade came out and I saw what they paid, I said, thank God it wasn't the Colts.
Yeah, I can't remember what team it was that they actually revealed how much they offered, and it wasn't enough. Um, Maybe I can remember it while I'm sitting here, but it just yeah, it was like a fourth round pick, and maybe this year's first, which would have been a 10 pick or something like the 10th pick overall. I think they gave up too much, and I just think that Stafford he's better than Goff, but he's not that much better that it was like that it was worth giving up that much in my opinion.
So I agree with you. Do you think they had like almost like a baseball scenario here because of the cap hit? Do you think they had to give up more because of that asinine contract that Goff has? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. They had to find a willing party that
They had to
wanted to
pay
get rid of
somebody to take him off their hands.
yeah,
Yeah.
wanted to get rid of somebody bad enough that also
And how
wanted
much had that relationship soured, right? Was
mhm.
They were in a Super Bowl not that long ago, you know?
Yeah, but even that Super Bowl they scored what, 3 points? So
I get it, but remember in the throughout the year that year they set the league on fire.
they did. Yeah.
And so you thought like, okay, it was his second or third year in the league, like he'll come back, like he'll like they're a team to McVay with Goff and all those weapons, like they're a team to watch out for. And it just quick.
Yeah, when you pay somebody for performance of a year, that gets a little dangerous. I remember back when Joe Flacco got paid his big contract, his record-setting contract, because he threw like what 5 or 6 touchdowns in like the Super Bowl or like at least like one of those playoff games to get them
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Well, he had that big. He had a big game in the Super Bowl. The Niners almost came back and won. That was the year at Mercedes when the lights went out. They didn't have those UPSs weren't set up correctly. Call CDW for that.
Yeah,
Oof,
we get it,
we get it.
but we probably get taken down for copyright infringement.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna have to edit that one out. I'm not gonna edit it out. I'm gonna get a note from CDW at some point in time that says, "Are you serious, Rick?"
Brian,
Um,
Brian will shoot you a note. I know he's one of our subscribers.
he is one of our subscribers, so no, it's funny to see how that works out. Well, I don't know. We'll see if I mean here's the amazing part when you look at what Stafford went for. Is there a team out there that can afford Sean Watson? If
If you
Stafford went for he went for what? 3 first rounders and a player, right? Is that correct? Okay. So
yes,
that means Deshaun Watson's got to go for 5 first rounders.
um,
You're mortgaging your entire future to bring in Deshaun Watson. Like if I'm Deshaun Watson, I can't go to that team because you just mortgaged the future to bring me in. Now we're gonna suck because you brought me in.
yeah, I mean Watson, I think is going to suck playing for the Texans too, just because like that's just the nature of the game at this point, where somebody gets a big payday, especially a quarterback, and like there's really not going to be that much you could do about it from that point forward. You just really need one of those transformational, like really great quarterbacks. I think like the dynasty. I hate to say it, it sounds so cliche, but I think dynasties are kind of over with that the way the salary cap is and the way that they pay quarterbacks. Um, I
Right,
don't
because
think
you can't afford to pay anybody else. Yeah, yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. It'd be interesting. I've heard that the Eagles are expecting a Stafford-like return for Carson Wentz, and obviously my Colts are very heavily connected with that, and I'm very very much hoping that is just posturing and conjecture because I have no interest in paying. I don't want to pay that much for Stafford, and I know Wentz is younger. I definitely don't want to pay that much for Wentz.
yeah, I've heard rumors for Wentz. The Bears. There's been a
I'm fine with
rumor.
that. That's great. They can have him.
Yeah,
That
and
line will get him killed. He'll be broken in half in a week.
so it's going to be interesting. There's definitely going to be a lot of movement. Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, the off season will be fun. I mean, we'll obviously bring the show back for next year, but definitely expect a show shortly after the league season starts. The league off season starts in March, because those first couple of days of free agency are going to be a frenzy, and we're definitely going to want to talk about it.
For sure, yeah. Maybe free agency, maybe get folks a little bit like
A little
warmed
bit of
up for the
pre-draft,
draft.
yeah, baby, and then we'll come back hard in August when preseason hits. We'll start
Yeah.
doing some mock drafts. We're going to do some live mock drafts, guys. Stick with us here. The M&M show is not going to forget about you over the summer. We're going to come back hot with some great content next year. To sum up, we'll finish up the show like this. Your way too early pick, who plays in the Super Bowl next year, and then who wins.
Who plays? I'm going to go with a wild card. I'm going to say the Bills.
I don't know
Are
how
going to be in
wild
the
that
Super
card
Bowl.
is, but yeah, that's a good one. It's hard to argue with that.
And I'll go.
Tom Brady coming back for a repeat?
I might, depending on how things shake out. I think you can't bet against the Super Bowl champion. So I'll go Tampa. So I'll go Tampa, Buffalo.
Okay. I'll give you, before we choose our winners, I'll give you my pick. I know the Chiefs are the favorite across the board. I don't see the Chiefs going back to a third straight Super Bowl. Something will happen. There will be an injury. They, as we already mentioned, a lot of salary cap issues out there. It's funny, you took the Bills. That was the team that I was very much thinking about as well. I'm also going to take the Bills from the AFC. You stole my thunder a little bit on that one. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm okay with that. And I'm going to say, you ready for this one? I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers goes back to the Pack, and the Pack make the Super Bowl next year. That'll be my team. And Rodgers, I'll give you my winner. Rodgers over the Bills, and Super Bowl. I don't know, whatever it is next year, 59 maybe, something like that. And that'll be my Rodgers will ride off into the sunset at that point.
That was who I was going to go with. I was thinking Packers, but I just can't not go with Tampa at this point, especially if everybody comes back.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough to repeat. It's just, even to just get back, it's so tough, right? And this has definitely been a taxing season. That being said, did you notice? And then this will, we'll cut it here. Did you notice 17 games is already approved for next season? They haven't taken a full-on league vote yet, but it's in the CBA. We will have a 17-game season next year. So that, to me, that's just a little bit interesting. We'll see how that turns out. I have no idea how the owners pushed that one through, but good for them. So one extra game of football, which could affect how fantasy really, right? Like how we do playoffs. So, because now you can go to week 16, right? So anyway, with that, the M&M show, we are done for the season. 2020 was an interesting and odd season, to be sure. Can't believe we didn't have any canceled football games. It's a miracle, right? A couple postponements here and there, but nothing full on canceled. So good for the league in getting it done. They said they would. They came through. George, any parting words to the fans out there?
I'm gonna make my bold prediction, that Tom Brady is as close to the LeBron James of football as we're going to get. I feel like anybody that wants to get a ring and is getting a little bit long in the tooth is going to go to Tampa. So I'm predicting that there's going to be a lot of success next year as well.
Could be.
They maybe didn't think he could do it with a second team, and now he's proven it. So now they're all going to come lining up to sign with Tampa. That's my prediction.
Could be. I mean, that arm's got to go at some point. That's the only thing I'm thinking, right? And I know that he keeps going, but that arm's got to go at some point. So we'll see. I'll say this: a lot of people I'm a Colts fan, that I would hate Brady and hate on that. No hate. Good for him. Good for him to prove that Belichick isn't the GOAT, but it's actually Brady. Heard it here first. All right. Thanks everybody for joining this year. We'll see you next year.